Okay, picture this. My alarm starts blaring, I groggily open my eyes, and honestly, before I've even had a chance to stretch, my brain is already being manipulated. Sounds crazy, right? Well, welcome to this explainer on the hidden power of color in your daily life. Today, I'm going to take you through a typical day in my life to show you exactly how the colors in our environment are secretly running the show. They're literally influencing our moods, our choices, and even our biology, totally under the radar.
Think about your own morning routine for a second. Have you ever wondered why my morning coffee always just seems to hit differently when I drink it out of my favorite red mug, rather than, say, a glass or a blue cup? I promise, it's not just in my groggy head, and it's definitely not a coincidence. It's actually deeply rooted in science and human psychology.
The famous psychoanalyst Carl Jung hit the nail on the head when he said, "Colors are the mother tongue of the subconscious." And that brilliantly frames our entire journey today. We're going to explore the subconscious forces shaping literally everything we do, from the second we wake up to the moment we finally go to sleep.
Let's dive right into Section 1, a colorful morning routine.
So, starting right at the beginning of my day, I drag myself to the window, throw open the curtains, and get hit with that morning sunlight. The way that light actually wakes me up is incredibly mechanical. It hits my retinas, and a signal travels straight down a specific neural pathway into a tiny cluster of cells in my brain called the Suprachiasmatic Nucleus, or SCN. Think of the SCN as the master biological clock for your entire body.
That master clock takes those light signals and tells my pineal gland to completely shut down the production of melatonin, which, is the hormone that makes us feel sleepy. Instead, it triggers a massive production of serotonin. Serotonin is an excitatory neurotransmitter. It's exactly what gets me energized, motivated, and ready to tackle the day.
But here's the wild part. What my brain interprets as all those beautiful morning colors outside my window is really just a tiny, tiny slice of the electromagnetic spectrum hitting my eyes. We're talking specifically about wavelengths between 400 and 700 nanometers. Everything below that, like ultraviolet, or above that, like infrared, we can't even see. But this tiny visible spectrum, it has an immense physiological grip on us.
Moving right along to Section 2, the biology of seeing color and context.
All right, so I finished my coffee, I'm out the door, battling my midday commute, and finally arriving at the office. This is where the colors around me start actively messing with my psychology. To really grasp this, we have to look at the color in context theory, developed by researchers Elliott and Meyer. According to this theory, my reaction to the colors I see on my drive to work, or the one sitting right on my desk, isn't just one simple thing. It's actually a super complex mix of my hardwired evolutionary biology and years of social conditioning based on my surrounding environment.
Just think about how context entirely shifts our biological response. If I'm walking past a store on my way to work and see a giant red sale sign, my heart rate literally ticks up. It creates urgency, excitement, and approach motivation. It absolutely pumps me up to buy. But if I get to my desk and see my work evaluation covered in red pen marks, that exact same color suddenly triggers pure anxiety, caution, and avoidance motivation. Context is literally everything.
And then there's blue. My office is full of blue tones, and corporate logos everywhere use it. They do this to make me subconsciously trust them and feel a sense of stability. But man, it goes way deeper than just branding. Entire cities, like in Japan and Scotland, have actually installed blue streetlights at train stations and in certain neighborhoods. And the data? It shows it successfully reduces crime and suicide rates in those areas. Plus, blue-enriched light at my desk literally keeps me more alert during intense cognitive tasks. It's a real game changer.
Which brings us to Section 3. Context and culture change everything. If we zoom out for a second and take a global perspective, we quickly realize that my coworkers joining our video calls from around the world might interpret the exact same colors in totally different ways, because color psychology is heavily cultural. If I show up to a Western wedding in a crisp white shirt, I'm celebrating purity and new beginnings. But to a colleague from East Asia, white is deeply associated with mourning and funerals. I see yellow as happy and warm, but in Egypt, it's a color of mourning, and in Japan, it signifies courage. We literally don't all speak the exact same visual language.
Let's jump into Section 4, Red versus Blue, a showdown.
All right, so the workday is finally done, and I'm heading to my local sports league. Well, it turns out the color of the workout gear I chose this morning might actually be giving me an unfair advantage. When researchers analyzed data from combat sports in the 2004 Olympic Games, they found this crazy statistical anomaly. When athletes were evenly matched in skill, the athletes wearing red won 55% of their matches against athletes wearing blue. No way, right?
And get this, it's not just about the athlete feeling more powerful. Studies show that when referees watch the exact same athletic performance, they subconsciously perceive the competitor wearing a red or black uniform as stronger, more aggressive, and more dominant, and they'll actually award them more points. The color literally biases the judges.
Okay, moving to Section 5, Designing for the Human Mind.
After the gym, I've got a quick routine checkup at my local doctor's office before heading home. Now, the healthcare world is deeply tuned into color psychology. For instance, the placebo effect is well documented. But did you know the color of a fake pill actually changes its effect? Seriously, if my doctor were to give me a warm-colored placebo pill, like red or yellow, my body would actually react as if it were a stimulant. But if they handed me a cool-colored placebo pill, like blue or purple, it acts as a stronger depressant. Our expectations of color are so deeply ingrained that they literally alter our physiological response to medication. Color also warps reality itself, specifically our perception of time. Time actually feels like it is passing slower under red light, but faster under blue light. This is exactly why casinos heavily utilize red lighting and carpets. It makes time feel incredibly slow so people lose track of the hours and just keep gambling away their money. Now, that kind of energetic red stimulation is the absolute opposite of what I want when I'm heading home trying to relax at night.
And finally, Section 6, Your World in Color.
Let's look at how the spaces around us are deliberately engineered for our minds. While I was at the clinic earlier, I noticed the walls were a soft green. Why? Well, back in 1914, a San Francisco surgeon named Harry Sherman realized that because green is the direct complementary color to the red of hemoglobin in our blood, painting the operating room walls green completely reduced visual dazzle and eye strain for surgeons. That one practical application kicked off a global trend in healthcare design. So, as I finally kick off my shoes at home, I can look back and see how my entire day was guided by color architecture. Cool blues and greens of the clinic kept my anxiety down. If I had stopped at a fast food drive-thru, I would have been hit with reds and oranges explicitly chosen to stimulate my appetite. And my workplace used light blues to keep me focused. Now I surround myself with neutral, earthy tones at home to balance my nervous system back out for a good night's sleep.
So, as I finally get to shut my eyes, I want to turn this back to you. Take a look around you tomorrow. Look at your clothes, your office, the signs on your commute, even the apps on your phone. What colors are secretly controlling your day?
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. We really want to keep bringing you these structured, visual guides to the fascinating science hidden in plain sight, so your support means everything. Catch you in the next one.